What's going on, everyone? Bran here, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm about to give you the bloody breakdown on some news. Finally, we're moving forward. Some news on an upcoming Friday the 13th film. Can you all believe that's being uttered out of my mouth right now? I can't. Just the quick heads up, this is my second COVID video, folks, that I'm sitting down trying to make some content here. I'm out of work. I have the COVID. A little bored, and I did want to make some content, so if I sound a little funny or sniffly, I do apologize. But this is big news. Let's just go ahead and jump right in, because I got to tell you, it has been years since I've wanted to utter the words news on an upcoming Friday the 13th project. So let's jump right in. This, of course, coming to us courtesy of BloodyDisgusting.com. They say a return to Crystal Lake. Producer Roy Lee teases Friday the 13th franchise news very soon. So let's dig into the article here. It says it's now been a full 13 years. Interesting. A full 13 years since the release of the last Friday the 13th movie, with the franchise trapped in a messy legal battle ever since. You can read all about those legal issues right here, but the basic gist is that Sean Cunningham, the original movie's director, and Victor Miller, the original movie's writer, have been fighting over who gets control of what. Which basically, to give you an example, someone owns the story, someone owns the character, someone owns this kid. They're going to have to come together and work together, at least in a small capacity, to do anything with this franchise from henceforth. So I'm glad to see that that's actually a possibility of happening now. But they go on to say, long story short, nothing can happen until the two parties agree to work together, but perhaps they have, as producer Roy Lee has provided us with an interesting tease this week. Speaking with the Bloody Disgusting's The Boo Crew podcast, the powerhouse producer of hit horror films, including The Ring, Poltergeist in 2015, Blair Witch, It in 2017, and the upcoming Barbarian, indicated that a return to Crystal Lake is imminent, with news on the Friday the 13th front coming very soon. Roy Lee tells the Boo Crew in an exclusive chat that one is something I would love to talk about. You may be hearing something by year's end on that front. As you may recall, Bloody Disgusting had reported Roy Lee's involvement in the Friday the 13th franchise back in 2018, with Lee and Doug Davidson's Vertigo Entertainment attached to produce an iteration of the franchise that was also set to be produced by LeBron James and his Spring Hill Entertainment. Has Vertigo managed to make some magic happen? And I remember reporting on that on this channel as well, that it sounded so outlandish, but it was factual. That LeBron James was going to be producing the next Jason film, the next Friday the 13th film. It seems like that was so long ago now that we're actually something's finally coming to fruition. But I'll dig back into the story here. They go on to say it was back in 2018 that a judge ruled Victor Miller owns the rights to the original Friday the 13th screenplay in the United States, a decision Cunningham has failed to overturn in the years that have followed. Cunningham, however, owns the character of adult Jason Voorhees, introduced in later sequels, so the two will eventually have to work together on this one. Otherwise, major elements of the franchise will have to be split between two parties for any future projects, which sounds too much like a mess, too much of a mess to actually be all that viable. In any event, of course, they said they're going to report on any upcoming events and news. And that's really what it boils down to also, is that you got to take into consideration Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham both owning different aspects of what makes this franchise so iconic, so enjoyable, so financially viable. They do really have to come together. I mean, the story of the original Friday the 13th, Victor owns. The adult Jason that, we'd love to see new counselors contend with, that's owned by Sean Cunningham. So we're going to have to get these guys together. They're going to have to work together. I know it's been a very bitter court case between the two. But, just hearing that we're actually going to be getting an update on this very soon, according to the article before year's end, which with it already being August doesn't leave a whole lot of time. So I'm very excited to hear this news, to hear any news other than just a court update when it comes to this franchise is great news. And with this happening now, I hope that we do, in fact, hear this news before year's end about a new Jason film. And I hope it leads to us finally getting something for Freddy as well. I think we're in this era right now where you're seeing Halloween and Scream and Child's Play and just a litany of, a slasher resurgence. And these are good films and TV shows that are being put out. It's not like they're just cash grabs that are being panned critically and failing financially. Quite to the contrary. So, it's hard to have this renaissance, so to speak, of slasher icons without two of the biggest of all time, like we're talking about today, Jason, and of course, Freddy Krueger. So I hope this is, kind of the domino that falls to lead into Freddy as well. But I am super excited to know that we're going to be learning something about the future of the Friday the 13th franchise before the year's end.
And more recently, we would see on Sean Cunningham's Cameo account that his About section had changed to say the following. Sean S. Cunningham directed and produced the seminal horror film Friday the 13th, creating the iconic villain Jason Voorhees. This movie has spawned 12 installments with a 13th scheduled for next year. So there you go right there. Now I will say, in the time that I've seen his Cameo description up until now when I'm actually finishing this video, he has taken that 13th installment part off of his Cameo. But definitely some things going on here, ladies and gents. Definitely something happening here in the realm of Friday the 13th between these two things happening within just a couple of days within one another. Definitely keep your eyes peeled to this channel and to all different media that would cover, because I got to tell you, I think we got some big Friday the 13th news coming up. It's been a long time since we've had that, and I'll be the happiest camper, pun intended, to hear what's next for Jason Voorhees. So with that said, leave me a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you haven't already. If you enjoy horror, that's what we do here at Bloody Breakdown. Leave me a comment down below. Check the description section for a couple of links to support the channel. Follow me on Twitter if either one of those things interest you. I'm Bran, and you've just got the Bloody Breakdown on Friday the 13th.